channel, and if you are joining me for the first time today, welcome in. My name is Jessie, and today we are going to be building a base game home. I wanted to build a house for a young couple, maybe they're just starting out, and because we had that base game swatch update, I wanted to challenge myself and make a base game home. But to be honest, after doing this home, I don't think it's much of a challenge to build a base game home. Also, this house is accessible to anybody because it's base game and, well, I say base game. It's base game and the holiday pack, which is free. If you don't have the holiday pack, you can go on Origin or wherever you get your Sims game, and you can just get the holiday pack for free. So I used the holiday pack and I used the base game, and this house just came out really cute, and it's accessible to anybody who has the Sims. You can just download it and play in it. Originally, I wanted this house to cost around 25k, but that didn't happen, and I ended up with a house that costs 53k and is only 2 bedrooms. But considering everything that's in it, it's still a little expensive, but it's like justifiably expensive. This house was built in Newcastle on those 2015 lots, those really small ones. I don't normally build here because it feels so restrictive and small, but I thought it was a perfect lot for this small home. Originally, I actually wanted to do this family story in an apartment, like have a young couple, just starting out, grad student couple who has a kid or two. Maybe they had like a teen pregnancy or like a really young pregnancy, and I wanted to do an apartment for them originally, but I ended up doing a house first. Maybe I'll revisit that idea. Maybe I'll do a apartment for them, or an apartment for them next week. I've been really enjoying doing the apartments lately. I do love how the interior of this house came together in the end. I was really excited to use the kitchen set I use in this build because I love the warm sandy tone color on the upper cabinets. This house does turn out to be 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, so it is a little bit small, but it does have space for 4 Sims. And it is a house where you can change the floor plan to sort of add more Sims. But like I said, I really love the swatch on these cabinets. I love them. I love these cabinets because they are so realistic and they feel like cabinets you'd find in a home like this. Like a home that's kind of budget, starter friendly, and I just love that warm, ashy kind of sandy tone on them. And I think they are part of the new update that recently came out, which I've just been loving, and that's what inspired me to do this build in the first place. This kitchen turned out to be pretty small, but I fit a lot into it, especially when it came to clutter. And I also wanted to make sure that I use the subway tile in this kitchen, just because I feel like that's really on trend right now for newer houses, is to have like the subway tile. Or at least when I was watching home reno shows, I was really into home reno shows at one point, and everybody had subway tile from what I remember, but that may be like a 2016 2015 thing. I did use the tool mod and some gallery art to decorate the fridge over here. This art is just debug art. This is the art that your kids make at the kids art table and the kids craft table, and I just used the tool mod to look like they were stuck to the fridge to add some, basically just personality into the fridge, and add some personality and make the house feel a bit more homey and lived in and realistic. And I'm just going through debug and going through the decorations catalog, putting like anything I can use for the kitchen over here. One thing is for sure, when you are building a base game home, you definitely have to get creative when it comes to debug and using things for things they are not. You'll see what I mean in a little bit, but you really have to be creative with all the things that you use from the catalog. And here I'm just doing my favorite trick, because we can't place the coffee pots freely on the counter how we want to. I usually place the coffee pot on the counter, size the counter down, and then I can place the counter wherever I want to kind of free place the coffee pot, and then place another counter on top of it. It's all functional. Well, I don't think that coffee pot is functional. Here I'm just found some cutting boards in the catalog, and so I just used the tool mod to rotate them and make them look like they were kind of propped up against the windowsill just to add some more kitchen clutter. I pulled some bottles out of the debug menu. I imagine that's kind of like balsamic vinegar and olive oil, and I added a pot on the stove. I don't know if any of the stuff is going to actually expire when you go into live mode. It could be, I'm not entirely sure. And here I'm just working on the dining room. This dining room went through so many iterations, as you've been seeing. I haven't been mentioning it, but I did keep coming back to this dining room and changing what I've been using. And eventually I ended up on the chairs from the birthday update. I'm not sure if that's an original table or an update table, but I also do really appreciate that the toddler chair does also slot to the dining room tables. I don't often use the toddler chairs just because they are an absolute nightmare. I'm currently playing the 100 Baby Challenge, and the 100 Baby Challenge, I haven't once used a toddler chair just because it's easy to feature toddlers on the floor. I use a tool mod and some more art to kind of rotate the art to make like a mess situation on the table, just so it looks like the toddler had just been working on some macaroni art. I pulled out some glitter bottles, some macaroni bottles, some glue bottles, just to add a little bit of chaos onto the kitchen table to make it look like maybe the parent was just making some macaroni and cheese and the toddler had been sitting there keeping them company and just started making art with everything they had. I imagine it's very chaotic and creative in this household, especially with 2 young kids, 2 young parents. It's got to be a little chaotic. The living room was kind of where I struggled quite a bit with the layout, more than I struggled with the layout, but I also struggled with picking a sofa set. Now the problem with the sofa sets in The Sims is there is no matching set besides the one that I'm using here that is kind of realistic, and these couches look so incredibly uncomfortable. I can't imagine, to be topical over here, imagine watching like Squid Game for like 9 hours on those couches. That would be so incredibly uncomfortable. Just take your laptop to your bed at that point, honestly. But they are the only set that comes in the game that looks like it matches. And I use the towels and the tool mod again to rotate the towels and use them as pillows on the couches. I don't know if a lot of the things that I did in this build works. Maybe it's good for the screenshot, but it was worth a try. And speaking of worth a try, I used this laundry basket and I stacked towels in the laundry basket because if you remember from Eco Lifestyle and Cottage Living, we got this really cozy blanket baskets with like pillows and teddy bears and things in them, and I wanted to make something like that for the base game, and the only basket I could find in the catalog was the laundry basket. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try it, and it's worth a try. You guys can let me know if that's a bad idea or a good idea. I think it's maybe a possible idea. I don't think it's a great idea. I don't think it's my brightest moment, but I was just trying to be creative and make things out of things, essentially, because that's what using the base game is all about. You know, we only have so many items and you got to kind of get creative with it. I decided to move the living room around just because the living room felt a little big the way it was. So I just switched the side that the front door was on, moved it to the other side, and moved the couches closer to the TV, and that also created a nice hallway space, like a semi-hallway space behind the sofa, where I could add a mirror, a table, a flowers, and a backpack. If you guys watch any of my videos, you know why I have that tone of voice, is because in every single world, by every single front door, there's always a table, a mirror, a chair, and bills at every single front door, without fail. And I just grabbed some more toys from the catalog and just kind of messed up the living room a little bit. I was going to actually add more art pieces to the floor, but I didn't want the place to look too messy, especially from the fact that I was using such a light colored rug. I think the rug stays white if I'm not mistaken, and I can't imagine the parents would be too happy if the kids missed like red glitter all over the white rug. Although I think with a family like this, it would all be kind of understandable. I imagine with this young family, I wanted to use furniture that looked kind of either IKEA, so like really inexpensive furniture, or furniture that had a lot of wear and tear in it, like a lot of love in it, because I either wanted it to look like they had just bought it on the cheap, or they got it from a flea market, or maybe it was handed down to them. You know, this aunt has got a dresser, that uncle's got a couch, that kind of situation, because maybe this family is just starting out, they just got their new place, and they don't have money to decorate it. So it's kind of just been a collective initiative to try and get them furniture. I changed the layout of this room really quickly because I wanted to add a desk into this bedroom. My thought is that I wanted to add a desk because maybe one of the parents or maybe both of the parents are still studying. They need somewhere they can have a computer to get their studies done, as well as somewhere they can kind of shut the door to block out all the noise, because I imagine there's a lot of noise and a lot of chaos going on in this house, and they can kind of shut the door and get some peace and quiet so they can study. And also because I think the kids are way too young. I'm imagining the kids are like 5 and 2 is sort of the idea I have in mind. Although in The Sims it doesn't matter, they would just be a toddler and a child. But I think they're too young for computers. So I just wanted to put the computer in the parents' room, because maybe the parents let the kids use the computer, but to only play games. I think the first time I ever played games on the computer was, I want to say 6 years old. I know I was about 6 years old when I started playing The Sims. Wow, I've been playing The Sims for a very long time when I say things like that. It's been 20 years that I've been playing The Sims. I'm just now realizing that as I said that out loud. This has been a long time. And I can't believe now that I make videos and content on The Sims. But I'm rambling over here. This is the kids' room that I'm working on now. And I gotta say, I do appreciate, and this seems like something really small, but I appreciate that the toddler beds kind of fit and slot underneath the bunk beds. You would think that that's something that would be completely obvious. But this is EA, and nothing's obvious, and nothing's ever easy and given to us. So I'm just really appreciative that that is a thing, because it saves a lot of space. And I wanted to use a bunk bed because I kind of just wanted to maximize the space. And I'm just kind of decorating the space up. I struggled a lot for some reason with adding this particular piece of art to this table. I didn't get it all the way on the table, you'll notice. It kind of lips off the side. But I couldn't be bothered. I think it was like 15 minutes in real time that I was struggling with this piece of art. And by the end of it, I kind of just gave up. Grabbed some more debug things and just kind of scattered them around. Glue and macaroni and glitter. Just to make everything feel a little bit more lived in. And I found makeup in the debug catalog. I hadn't ever found that before. And I also found the step stool. So when your kids help in the kitchen to cook, they pull out this little step stool that they can stand on and reach the counter. And I put that in the bathroom because I imagine that the kids use it when they want to brush their teeth or when they want to look in the mirror or whatever. They can stand on their tiptoes and get on the bench and kind of see over the counter a little bit. And here we are just working on the outside. I think the inside's completely done. I added a yellow minivan because I imagine this family has need for a minivan, and I'm just going to add some landscaping. I end up going with these tulip kind of looking window boxes because I think it just looked a little bit neater, a little bit more cookie cutter. And I added a chessboard and a mailbox and a trash can and some purple flower window boxes just to add a little bit of contrast to the house, because the house is yellow and I wanted to add a little bit of purple just because it's a complementary color. But that brings us pretty much to the end of the speed build. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have watched this far, remember to please, if you have, please leave a like on the video. It really helps out the channel. And subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the bell so you get notified, because YouTube doesn't like to notify everybody when I post. And remember to stay kind. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!